I happened to watch this podcast uh, with three right wingers, the podcast of the Lotus Eaters talking about Islam and Islamic terrorism. But one thing again that they tried to miss was that these Islamic fundamentalists in reality were supported by the Western world during the Cold War. For instance, Masjumi in Indonesia, Ikhwanul Muslimin or Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, Ayatollah Kashani, who is the ideological godfather of Ayatollah Khomeini, he was also supported by the West because the Mossadegh, the secular leader and elected prime minister of Iran, had nationalized Anglo-Iranian oil companies, so his government had to be toppled, and for that the help of Ayatollah Kashani was sought. Hizb Islami in Afghanistan and fundamentalists of Afghanistan and global jihadists were also supported during the Cold War, and there are statements of American officials who openly admitted that they wanted to settle the scores of Vietnam. In the same way, Islamic elements also in Pakistan. And it was not only the case during the Cold War, even during Kosovo War, during the crisis in Yugoslavia, because their main target was Milosevic, so they also supported fundamentalists there. In the same way, at least the Western world had soft corner for Chechen terrorists and the terrorist or extremist who or ruling elite of the Western world at least had sort of a soft corner for the extremists of Chechnya and western province of China, according to some critics. So this history, they do not want to discuss it, that how the West in reality supported these fundamentalists in Iran, in Egypt, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Indonesia, and other parts of the world. Even today, if Chechen terrorists, pick arms against Russia, or if Muslim extremists pick arms in Western province of China, the world will see that who is going to support them, or at least has soft corner for them. And it is not enough. Even in Syria, there are allegations that the Western world supported fundamentalists there because primarily they had problem with Bashar al-Assad and terrorist Ahmad Shara Jolani, who had a bounty on his head. He's being greeted by Donald Trump, the icon of all right wingers, including perhaps the three sitting in the podcast as well. They talked about the interpretation of Islam, saying that Islam, in a way, does not have that base. And one of the speakers quoted Ghazali. Well, Ghazali, as far as Ghazali is concerned, he's considered Kant of Islamic world. Of course, there are people who accuse him of being anti-rationality, anti-logic, and anti-science. But on the other hand, some people argue that basically he said that we can understand the world of senses, as Kant say, phenomenology and nomenology. But as far as religious matter, metaphysical matters are concerned, they cannot be understood. He was right in that Ghazali did oppose science, but no religion is monolithic. So in Islamic history, you also had rationalist and traditionalist. So Ghazali was from a traditionalist, and there were, of course, rationalists. This gentleman did not know that they even ruled the state for more than perhaps 3 decades, and the rationalists believe an enlightened interpretation of religion, and it was this rationalist tradition that produced a lot of scientists, a lot of philosophers, a lot of people with critical thinking, including Ibn Sina or Avicenna, Ibn Rushd, who is known as Averroes in Western world, Al-Farabi or Al-Fabriate. So many other people who, in reality, in Al-Andalusia, Muslim, Jewish, and Christian scientists work together at the House of Wisdom in Baghdad. These three gentlemen did not know that Muslim, Nestorian, Jacobite, Jews, and Hindus, Zoroastrian, they worked together, and in reality it was Muslims who translated Greek work. Al-Kandi, one of the Muslim philosophers, translated it. Al-Farabi, if these gentlemen had bothered to read the books of Al-Farabi, they would have found the influence of Plato. In the same way, if they had gone through the writing of Avicenna or Ibn Sina, they would have found the influence of Aristotle and Plato both. And Averroes was considered the one of the best commentators on Aristotle in Western world as well. As far as the interpretation of religions is concerned, every religion may have different interpretation. No religion is monolithic. There are Jews who might justify even the killings of babies, citing certain verses from their holy scriptures, or capital punishment for violation of Sabbath, or inhuman punishment, or maybe mutilation for violating certain principle of Judaism. The same could be said about Christianity. No religion has a monolithic interpretation. No religion is monolithic. So these gentlemen must know about that. As far as Islamic traditions are concerned, they were rationalists among the Muslims, and some of Muslim philosophers or scientists were in correspondence with Galileo, Copernicus, and Kepler. One of the top religious guys from Christian world studied at Al Andalusia, and in city states of southern Spain. Muslim did have Jews making it to the key post of the states. In the same way, during the Abbasid time, there were a lot of officials who were from Jewish or Christian background, and same was the case during the Umayyad time, who ruled for more than around 89 years, starting 18 around 89 years. So these three gentlemen perhaps did not know about this, and they were talking about they were talking about conservative interpretation of Islam. Every religion could have such interpretation, and it is not unique to Islam. But when it comes to other arguments, like one of the gentlemen was trying to heap eulogies on Catholicism. And historically, that's very ironic, and that flies in the face of reality, because Isabella and Ferdinand, who tried to establish a Catholic state or monarchy, they kicked out Jews from Al Andalusia and Muslims as well. And they carried out ruthless persecution. They were the ones, and then the same Catholic state also, in a way, declared war on Netherlands for being different. There have been Roman Catholic and Protestant war with the religious wars of 17th century that lasted for 30 years, claiming more than 3 million lives. There have been instances where Catholic burnt alive Protestant in France, and there are instances at other places where Protestant persecuted Catholics on a massive scale. So, such atrocities can be found among all followers of religions. This is not unique to Islam, but they were trying to give an interpretation that this particular retrogressive interpretation of religion is only confined to Islam. That's not the case. Naturally, during the Dark Ages, Catholicism and clergy, the way they used religion, the way they interpreted religion, is completely different from what modern people would interpret. So I think they need to study different interpretations that are there in Islam. Still, the vast majority of Muslim women do not resort to head to toe cover. You can find so many women in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, and many other countries who do not cover their face. So there are different brands of Islam. There are different interpretation of Islam, or at least there are different interpretations of Islam. And one of the interpretation also underscored the need to study philosophy, to have critical thinking, and to interpret the world in a scientific way.